Hi there everyone, I am making this video because I could not find a video out there that could help me. This is an Alpha One Generation 1 1977 to 1984 Mercruiser leg. Trying to get this hinge pin off without having to fork out for the $150 worth of tools was the goal. Fortunately, I was able to do it. So to quickly jump into this video, jammed a piece of wood in there to lock the bellows housing away from the gimbal bearing housing. In there is a nail that's bent over. It's essentially what it is. When it came out, that's what it looked like. So you need to get a punch or a screwdriver in there and try and bend the nail straight so it can be pushed out the other end. So you'll need to remove the grease. Mine was covered in grease. And apologies for the video, it wasn't very clear. But I've used a punch and a hammer just to give it a few knocks, just to get it reasonably straight. Once it's reasonably straight, you will need to get a punch on the other end and give it a couple of love taps to try and knock it out of the housing. So here there's a couple of taps and then she's jolted free. Once you kind of do that, you will get a set of vice grips and you'll be able to get them around the head of that nail. Make sure they're nice and tight. Now the next section I butchered for the video, but on the other side it took literally 3 or 4 hits. But essentially engage your vice grips, get your punch and give it quite a few knocks. Give it a few knocks and eventually that nail will come out. Now I have to say also, and I didn't say it at the start, this is an early Alpha One Generation 1 unit. If you have an Alpha One Generation 2, you're going to have a much better upgrade in having a hex head hinge pin, which makes way more sense. And I can see why Mercury moved to that as their design standard after this, because this was a pain in the ass and I am dreading having to put these hinge pins back in this unit over the next couple of weeks. But again, I feel compelled to kind of share the knowledge because all I could find were 2 little forums and they were very, very hard to distinguish what to do. So hopefully this helps someone. Yeah, get that punch in there on that vice, set of vice grips, give it a good few knocks, it'll eventually come out. You can use some WD-40 as well. Oh, there it is, pops out. Okie dokie. After that, yeah, just disengage your vice grips, make sure you don't lose that. You could probably replace it. Next bit for the puller. Next bit for the puller, you just got to find a bolt that fits that thread. Luckily, I've got a toolbox full of random old bolts. Doesn't really matter how long it is, I just use this bolt because I could. Chuck it in there, make sure you get a few threads on there, just so you don't pull out the top of a couple of threads. So I've just run the shifter down it a couple of times. I'm using my good friend the vice grips again. Just making sure they're fairly locked on there, and then you're going to give it quite a few good love taps. So I don't think this has ever been removed, so this needed quite a few love taps, but the other side come out with about 2 hits. This side needed a lot of persuasion. But as you can see, I've got no one really holding it down. Oh, there it is. You can see it kind of starting to go now. I'd probably recommend greasing them through the nipples beforehand. There you go, the hinge pin's out. And I haven't had to fork out for those expensive tools. Alright, done and dusted. Hopefully this helps somebody someday. But again, if you are, trying to remove the hinge pin for an Alpha Generation 2, this is not going to help you. You need to go find another video, and there are 10 trillion videos for those types of legs, not for this one.